One of the weirdest situations I've ever seen just happened in a game between the Detroit Pistons and the Miami Heat. So this whole thing starts off with Tyler Hero hitting a shot in the mid-range to give the Heat a 2-point lead. Then immediately, the Pistons coach calls a timeout to advance the ball to the other side of the court. Now the Pistons have the ball with 1.8 seconds left on the clock, but this implosion starts before the ball even gets inbounded. The Heat had 6 players on the court and nobody was going out. It took a solid 10 seconds before Kel'el Ware went to the bench. And then it took another 5 seconds for Terry Rozier to figure out who he was guarding. Then of course the guy Terry's defending against sets a screen on Bam for Jalen Duren, and he gets the easiest sideline out of bounds lob you can get to tie the game up. There was less than 2 seconds left on the clock. It was either going to be a catch and shoot or an alley-oop. And the way the Pistons were set up, it was pretty obvious a lob was coming. So out of pure frustration, Miami Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra calls a timeout to draw a play up and advance the ball. The only problem is the Heat have no timeouts left, and if you call a timeout when you don't have any left, it's an automatic free throw for the other team. So Malik Beasley makes the free throw and the Pistons get the ball right back. Then by the time the Heat were able to foul, there was only 0.1 second left, essentially ending the game. What makes this whole thing even funnier is the camera immediately cutting to Jalen Rose, who was a part of a very similar iconic timeout blunder at Michigan. This is definitely one of the worst collapses I've seen, and there were multiple things that led up to Spoelstra even calling that timeout. Plus, he's like the last coach you would ever expect to make that mistake. But when you coach almost 100 games a year, you're bound to do something stupid eventually. Although after the season the Pistons had last year, it's about time a situation like this went their way.